Here I am at the huge Spanish supermarket known as Alcampo. And it's not just a supermarket, it's also kind of like a Walmart because they also sell clothing, home goods, hardware, appliances, and electronics. And it's all part of this kind of a mini mall here. So there's some restaurant, there's a gym. Here's a sign you see about $30 a month membership for this gym. That's here on the right. On the left is a restaurant. You see there's a sign, a beer and two tapas for €2.50. Here's the gym, and there's some other stores here, furniture, pharmacy, sporting goods. So every time I go someplace new, I like to look around and see if it's a place that I would like to possibly live in the future and see what everything costs, what the amenities are, what the quality is, and see if it is a place that I would like to live and has a good standard of living for not a high amount of price. So this is a perfect place to look at that. And so the more times I come to Spain, the more times it pops into my head that this is definitely on the list of places that somebody could come retire to for a pretty good price and very good standard of living, very good standard of food, large variety of really good food for really cheap prices. This supermarket is in the San Andrea de Besos neighborhood, which is about 4 miles north of the city center. It's about 1 block up from the beach and the commuter train that stops at San Andrea de Besos, and there's also a tram like a block away from here. And that tram will also take you to the metro station, Saint Roch. So you have three types of transportation from here into the city center if you wanted it. But if you lived out here in this area or really anywhere near one of these Alcampo stores, this is pretty much all you need for your day-to-day things to live. So first up, you see these tomatoes, $1.29 a kilo. With the exchange rate and dividing it into pounds, that comes out to about 65 cents a pound. And those are really good looking tomatoes. So here you see more tomatoes, all different kinds. You got those greenish black ones, you got these purple ones, heirloom tomatoes, every kind you can think of, and they are really cheap prices. So let's see, it's about, the heirloom tomatoes are about what, $1.30 a pound, something like that. In the US, those are easy, $2.50, $3 a pound. Cucumbers, a whole roll of kinds of greens and salads. And look at the size of these red peppers. I mean, they're huge. I've never seen anything this size in the US for sure. They're at least twice the size. And they're about $1.35 a pound, which is very cheap. And the green peppers are about $1.15 a pound, something like that. So right there, I mean, if you like fresh salads and a variety of different kinds of vegetables, you have every single choice available to you here. I mean, look at those green and black tomatoes. I love those things. Those purple tomatoes I tried. I thought they would be purple inside, but they're not. They're just red inside, so kind of defeats the purpose. But anyway, any kind of tomato you want is here. Now the berries over here in this case, they say products ecological. I don't know if that means organic, but they're not super expensive, even though I don't think they make the strawberries here or the blueberries. The blueberries, though, are a little bit expensive. On the right, that quart of blueberries was about €7, which is about $8, so a little pricey there. Avocados, $3.49 a kilo. That's about $1.75 a pound, and it came out that one avocado was about 80 cents, something like that. So not bad in the US. They're $1, sometimes 75 cents. Eggs here, they don't refrigerate them. Eggs you can get as cheap as about $1.20 for a dozen. They have all different kinds. Some are more expensive than others if they're organic or whatever. The oranges are like $2.30 for this large, looks like 3 or 5 pound package of oranges. So that's really good. $1.39 for 500 grams of strawberries. That's about $1.50 for like over a pound of strawberries. That's amazing. And the strawberries were really good also. So Spanish people eat a lot of fish because they're on the water, and they eat a lot of, I don't know, to me, kind of weird looking fish, just because I don't eat a lot of kinds of fish if it's not salmon or flounder or tuna or swordfish or something. But here you see a stingray. I don't know what that cost, but some of these fish are pretty cheap. Well, this is €19 for a kilo, $10 a pound or so. This stuff is even cheaper, $8.50, so like 4.25 a pound of fish. And the frozen vegetables, there's aisles and aisles of it, and it is really inexpensive. So on the end cap here, there are almost 1.7 pound bag of broccoli for 99 cents, and a 1 kilo bag, so 2.2 pounds of French fries for 99 cents. So that is super cheap. In the US that would cost over $3, maybe $4 or something along those lines. You even have a fresh bakery section here. So you see how wide this place is. I mean, you can't even see to the end of it down there. And so a large portion of this is the food, but like I said, there's other sections for clothing, hardware, appliances, whatever. So a whole aisle of different kinds of greens and salads and all kinds of greenery you would use for salads. Here you have fresh scooped coffee, tea, rice, beans, spices, and it's pretty cheap. I think those prices are per 100 grams. So even you see the turmeric there, that bright orange. You got all different kinds of rices available, pastas. So you can live beans. Really well out here and eat really well for not a lot of money at all. And the selection and quality out here is really amazing. I mean, look at this huge deli stand over here. On the right, you have a whole aisle of ham, the thin cured ham that the Spanish like so much, anywhere from $1.30-ish a package to more expensive stuff. And if you really like this stuff a lot, then you also have the option of just buying a whole leg of the pig that you can see over here. And these things go from anywhere from like €30 to over €300. So there's all kinds of range in quality, I guess, and these things are really expensive. You see they have the electronic theft tags tied up to them so that nobody, I guess, tries to take one of these legs and throw it under their shirt and walk out with it, because some of these can be really expensive. So you see that there's a big range in prices on the lower quality to the higher quality, so you can have your pick of what you're comfortable with, what you want to spend on, and what you maybe don't. So you can go anywhere from $1.20-ish for some sandwich cheese to getting the nicer stuff, maybe a whole wedge of Swiss cheese down here for only about, what, $4.75 for about a pound of that. And here's something I don't understand. This whole row and the whole back row is milk, okay? And these are unrefrigerated milks. And it seems like there's, I don't know, 30 to 50 different kinds of milks available there. So I don't know what the story is with that, why Spanish people like those so much and drink so many of them. If anybody knows, please leave a comment, because I don't know why there are so many different kinds. So here's the refrigerated milk and butters, and a half pound of butter is about $2.50. And here's your regular refrigerated whole milk, and that's about $1.80 for like a liter and a half. So I would think that's enough milk, but look, you see more against this whole wall back here. So they really like their milk out here, and ham, that's for sure. This is all meat aisle right here. And now this whole aisle is like fresh pizzas. So it's fresh dough pizzas. They're not frozen, so they're just lightly refrigerated, and they are really good. And you can get a pepperoni for, what, about $3, or just one of these 3 meats for $1.85 on sale. So they're really good. You pop them in the oven, and they're a lot better than the frozen stuff. And what better way to wash down your $2 pizza than with a 5-liter jug of wine that's only €5. Yes, that's right. It is €1 per liter of wine, the cheapest that they have. That is cheaper than Spanish gasoline, which is about $1.30 per gallon per liter. So if you ever find yourself short on money and need to fill up your tank and don't have enough money, you might want to just come in here and get a couple of liters of this cheap red wine and just throw it in your gas tank and see if that works. So you see here, you got these single box wines for 97 cents for a full liter, which is bigger than a bottle of wine, which is 750 milliliters. So yeah, Spain has crazy amounts of cheap wine, and again, you can go from the dollar a bottle to a lot more expensive stuff depending on your taste and your budget. Spain is the second biggest wine producer in the world, next to Italy, and Italy is only about 5% bigger than them. So I don't know how this works with alcohol, hard liquor, but it seems to be kind of cheap as well. I'm not a really big hard liquor drinker, but from the prices of these bottles, it seems kind of cheap. So I'll try to look at some stuff that maybe more people recognize and know the general prices of, to see whether it's kind of on par with regular prices everywhere, or cheaper or expensive. For instance, Absolut Vodka, this bottle is what, $12.51, so about $13 or so, maybe $14. This vodka is really cheap, $4.30 for this huge bottle. So yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. If you are an alcoholic, maybe Spain is is not a good place to come just because the alcohol is so cheap. I don't know. Bombay gin, 17 euros. So yeah, so alcohol is really cheap, and I'll show you how much beer costs as well, because that is ridiculously cheap as well. 27 cents for your typical 12-ounce can of beer, 52 cents, 65 cents. Let's see some more name brand kind of stuff. Bottles obviously are a little more expensive. Heineken, this is also what, 47 cents for a tall boy, 16 ounce. And Budweiser, surprisingly, is relatively expensive at 72 cents per can. I don't know why you would buy that when you can get these much better beers for a lot cheaper. Even Amstel is 66 cents. Estrella, and Heineken is 62 cents a can. So Heineken's even cheaper than Budweiser. Go figure. So let's see what some chocolate costs here. And just for comparison, Lin's chocolate, 85% cocoa, is $1.89. I just came from Moscow before this trip, and it was $3 over there, so 50% more expensive in Russia. And this chocolate bar is 65 cents, so that's really good price. So now let's see something else that Spain is famous for, and that would be their olive oil. So if you didn't like the 5-liter jug of wine, you can get yourself a 5-liter jug of extra virgin olive oil for 18 euros, which is about $20, which is still really cheap. And they have even cheaper ones here. I think I saw 15 euros for 5 liters. So Spain is the #1 producer of olive oil in the world. Next to Greece is second, but Spain produces 6 times more olive oil than the #2 person, Greece. So that's how much they produce. They produce 50% of the world's olive oil. So this stuff is probably cheap like water over here, but still good quality. So some other things, tomato sauce, 65 cents for what looks to be about 24 ounces or so, something along those lines. So that's also cheap. And let's see what else we can find. Ketchup. Heinz ketchup is $3 for like what looks like 32-ounce jar or something. It's kind of expensive. But regular ketchup, Spanish brands, are a lot cheaper, of course. Something like 2 euros or so for about the same type of bottle. Barilla Pasta is about $1.30 for a 1-pound box. That's a pretty good price for a name brand like Barilla. I usually buy the whole wheat pasta, so this is about $1.13 for a 1-pound package of whole wheat pasta, so that's a pretty good price. And if you want just plain pasta, regular, it's 48 cents, about 55 cents US dollars for a pound of regular pasta. So that's a look at the food stuff. Now let's go look at the other kind of non-food things. And if you don't want a 5-liter jug of wine or olive oil, you can get yourself a 5-liter jug of oil for your car. This oil, this synthetic oil, is a little more expensive than the olive oil at $28, but still probably a pretty good deal. So you see they have automotive, they have hardware, And what looks like over here looks like they have ice cream on the shelves over here. It looks like a big bucket of ice cream, but it's really paint, and it's 10 liters for $25. That's like 2.5 gallons or something like that. So that's also pretty cheap, but doesn't look like they have a big selection of colors. Not big on the marketing of the label on these things. They look pretty bland and generic. So what else do we got here? All kinds of hardware, electrical parts, and then you're going to have some kitchenwares, pots and pans, water filters, and now you have appliances. And you got these refrigerators here. See, the price is $5.48 for a Bosch. I gotta believe that's a pretty good price. And one thing I gotta say is that I like these European refrigerators that have a really tall refrigerator, and the refrigerated part is on top and the freezer part is on the bottom, since you don't use it as often as the refrigerated part. So you don't have to do a lot of bending down to reach the things that you use the most. In the US, it's popular to have a freezer on the top, and so the refrigerator part is below that, and so you have to do a lot of bending down all the time. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So these are, I don't know what these are. Are they washing machines? I'm not even sure, but here's some ovens over here. I think it's just the cooktop. So this one's only $99. This one's $3.95. Again, big range of prices. This one's a Bosch for $400. The other one's probably something more generic. So you can choose whatever your budget allows. These little full standing ovens are $2.95. So not a bad deal. If you need to move over here and furnish an apartment that you're renting or something like that, you can pretty much do it with one trip to Alcampo. Paella pans, I guess. And take a look at all these coffee pots here. So this is the difference between Spain and Russia. Spain, all you see are a million different kinds of coffee pots. When I was in Russia, I was trying to find a coffee pot and I couldn't find one. So when I would go into a store, instead of seeing all those coffee pots like you just saw, all you saw were 100 different kinds of teapots. So that just goes to show you that Russia drinks tea way more than they drink coffee, which is the opposite in Spain here. So these washing machines, $250, Bosch unit, $329. Again, nothing that's going to break the bank. Very reasonable, I would say. And all kinds of prices, $238, $239, $299, whatever. So, and they have a large selection too. Dishwashers, $349 for stainless steel, hot point. So really they got a whole bunch of everything here that you can want. And then they also have the electronics section as well. And the good thing about the electronics here, it's not like in South America where, you know, a phone that costs $500 in the US will cost $1,000 in a lot of places in South America, like Brazil and places like that, because of the high tariffs they have. If you look at the phones and laptops and things they have over here, they're very reasonable, even the TVs as well. They are competitive, if not maybe the same or a little cheaper than in the US, I would say. Take a look, $399. I don't know what kind of brand that is, but for a 55-inch LED, $279. For a 43-inch LED, what else? So They got big ones, 65-inch, all kinds of things. And like I said, they're not crazily priced. 49-inch, $379. Philips. So that's a good brand. That's a good TV. So you can really fill up your whole apartment with your electronics, your appliances, laptop, cell phone. Again, let's have a look at some of these laptops. Here is a HP laptop, 15-inch screen, 4 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte hard drive, 329, not bad. Acer, 1 terabyte, 12 gigs of RAM. This is a decent deal here. AMD, 8 gig, 128 gig SSD drive. This Lenovo's good, Ryzen chip, 12 gigs of RAM and 128 gig hard drive SSD for $400. That's a price you would get in the US when it was on sale. So these laptops, I would say, are very competitive or even cheaper in some cases. Now let's see these cell phones here. I don't really know the prices, but if you look, let's see, 265 Samsung, 4 gig of RAM, 32 gig of memory, not that great. 4 gig of RAM, 64 gig hard drive, $258. That's pretty good. I don't know about iPhones. Some of these are reconditioned, but $399, $329, $318. I know some of these Xiaomi phones are very good. They have the specs of a much higher end Apple, let's say, for a fraction of the price, maybe a third or a fourth of the price in some cases. So this one, $299, $429, $229. So really, there's a lot of good phones. So if you lose or break your phone or something like that, or your laptop gets stolen or something along those lines, you don't have to wait till you come back to the US to buy a decent priced laptop or phone or something, because you can get them here very reasonable, if not the same price, maybe even cheaper in some cases. So that's a look at Alcampo, and that's a little peek into the pricing and the quality and the selection of what you can get in Spain and in Alcampo in particular. So that's my video. I hope you liked it. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel to check out my future videos coming out soon. Thank you.